So I guess this is the start of trying to refurbish some of these parts, and I brought some of the easy stuff with me to work, and I got a couple sandblasters. I'm going to try to clean some of these up, like this the trigger, I guess you call it the trigger plate, floor plate assembly, and I got the magazine internal box, and then I got the spring and the follower. And one of the things I wanted to work on in particular was all of this rust that's on this floor plate. Now I got two sandblasters at my disposal, and I'm going to try the one with just sand, because the one that I have over here at the shop has a black media to it that's really abrasive, and I don't want to remove material, I just want to remove the rust. So we'll throw it in a blaster, see how it cleans up. Alright, let's get the butt plate in here. Let's do some sandblasting, see how this cleans up. Oh yeah, she's cleaning up good. There's just something about the sandblaster that I like being in. It feels so good watching a piece just get totally refurbished and looking almost brand new whenever it comes out. Look at that, we even got numbers on here that I didn't even know existed. I'll finish working on these parts and I'll show you guys what it looks like whenever they're all done. Alright, let me show you what I got. I got some parts out of the sandblaster, and it did an absolute fantastic job. Now this is fine sand. This isn't any of the black magic media or anything. I do have that at my disposal, but I'm worried that's going to take off too much material. For the most part, these cleaned up great. You can see I got a little bit of work here to do on these bolt heads, which I'm going to get the Dremel out, and I'm going to recut those bolt head tops, because I boogered those up trying to get these out. Light pitting on these pieces for the front sling and the front barrel band with this. I guess this is the stacking loop. Oh, don't want to lose those. This is neat. Everything on here has these like little E's, I guess, for Eddystone stamped over everything. So we get some good close-ups, because the barrel band turned out really good. This I thought was going to be more pitted than what it looked. Yeah, I gotta fix that. I'll fix it. I think some light sanding, I get the majority of this pitting out. That barrel band turned out great. This is probably the most pitted of all the parts that came off of it, and this is the butt plate. I got some markings up top here. Let's see if I can pull that off so we can read it right side up. Focus. Well, I guess the camera's not going to focus for us. Here we go. Looks like we got 2R and then 626. And then there's like a C in the middle, so I don't know what that means. Back of it turned out good. Ouch, piece of tape. I'm going to do an experiment tonight whenever I get home with my bluing stuff. I kind of want to mimic the original finish to the rifle, and I know it doesn't want to be too shiny, so I'm going to leave the undersides of some of these pieces sandblasted, but I'm going to polish the upper parts with some really fine sandpaper, like 1500, 2000 grit. See if I get a little bit more of these pits out. This one actually looks really good. And I want to see if I leave this sandblasted but blue it, if it will mimic almost like a slight glossy Parkerized finish. So I'll tackle that whenever we get home tonight. This turned out really good too. All these pieces turned out fantastic. I got a little bit more grit to clean up in there, but I'll get that with like a little tiny wire wheel on my Dremel. Then I did the follower for the magazine, and I polished this up. I have a brass wheel on our little electric wire wheel that's over in the corner here of the shop, which I polished this up really good. This was blued. I don't know if I'm going to re-blue it or not, but I'm definitely going to polish inside here with the sandpaper, real fine sandpaper whenever I get back. You can see there's like some fine machining marks here. I'm assuming that came from the factory, and I'm going to try to resist the urge to take that out, because I know it's a military rifle and it's not supposed to be perfect, but these little pieces, they're going to clean up real easy. Okay. Okay, just thought I'd show you some of like the bolt head repair. I know it's not perfect, but I can always get some new bolts later. I found some replacement ones, but for now I just need something that's going to work and I can get a screwdriver on. All I did was just take a Dremel head here and recut that notch, and now I'm just taking a little bit of a file and we're taking just a little bit of the tops of this off because it's got a little bit of raised edges on there, and that will work. I already redid the other one and this one turned out pretty good. Focus. Okay, I guess we're not going to get a focus on this today. There we go. But that is usable, and it should be the size of like a number 2 flathead. Okay, just one more to do. Okay, so we're back at home, and I spent a little bit of time on the floor plate here. Started off with 220, worked my way up to 320, 400, and then 600. And I know it's not perfect. You can still see some pitting in the metal here. This is just kind of a test to see how this is going to work out. And degrease the thing with carburetor cleaner. And I have some of this Birchwood Casey Super Glue. A couple of these like little cotton swabs here. I guess we'll dunk it in and we'll see what we can do. I guess that's enough right there. Let's see what it does. Guess we'll just try to get as even as a coat as possible. This is kind of something I wouldn't mind like submerging. I could see it turning blue. Let's see if we get this spot right here. It actually went on fairly even, just like a couple spots. Let's dunk another little bit in here. Go over it one more time. Okay, I guess we'll let that sit for a minute. Well, we'll get the edges here. I want to do the bottom too, because I've never done this cold bluing before. I'm kind of torn right now between doing this bluing procedure and just getting some Cerakote. Okay, now let's try the underneath. I'm dying to see how this looks with just the sandblasted finish, to see if this will come out looking parkerized at all. This definitely seems to react fast. Let's see if it works better with dabbing. Actually, it kind of does work better with dabbing. Get a little bit in there. Yeah, the thicker you put it on, the better it definitely works. I wish I had a bunch of this so I could just submerge it. Okay, well, I guess what we do next is rinse it off, polish it with some of this ultrafine steel wool, and, well, actually this is superfine steel wool I just picked up at Walmart. We'll buff it and we'll do a couple coats. Alright. Okay, this is it buffed out with steel wool. We're going to go for coat number 2 now. I'm going to be a little bit more liberal with this, since the underneath reacted really well to having a thick coating on it. Oh yeah, that worked way better. Okay, this stuff likes to be drenched on. We'll see how many coats it takes. There's like a little strip right here that just does not want to take the bluing. This is kind of why interested in maybe just doing the Cerakote. And I'm not talking about like just doing like an AR-15 black. Like they have a couple different products like Midnight and SOCOM Blue that I would like to try. That's supposed to mimic gun bluing, and they look pretty darn good. Okay, let's do the underneath here. That's right, this did like the dabbing more. Now I know each progressive coat is supposed to get darker, so we'll see how many coats that this takes. The underneath is doing way better, and one thing to note, I did not polish the bottom at all. That's just sandblasted. And that seems to be really taking the bluing very well. Alright, we'll rinse it off. We'll try for coat number 3. Alright, this is going to be coat number 3. Let's dunk this in and let's go heavy. It liked it heavy. Seems to be really taking it well now that we've got numerous coats on. Ah, I got dog hair in it. Urgh. Let's get inside the little hole there. Yeah, I really wish I had like a little bath of this to submerge this in. I mean, you could probably really guarantee a nice coat. Ooh, it's starting to get nice and blue. It's definitely blue, like not black though, like I would hope. But I heard that whenever you put the oil on this, that's when it really starts to turn black. Okay. Let that sit for a minute. We'll flip it over. Floop. Let's get some more. Okay. Let's get the dabbing going on. Yeah, the bottom seems to be taking it definitely better, but I hope it starts getting dark soon. I don't want to have to do numerous coats on this. But hey, if that's what it takes, we'll see. So I made some revelations when working with some of this bluing by Birchwood Casey. As you can see, I've gone through many coats to try to get this to darken up, and I'm not going to give up on it yet. It's definitely darker. In comparison to what it looked like, I'd still like to see this darker. I was playing around with just another piece, with just some like leftover bluing that I had on that, and this I didn't polish, sand, or anything. This is just sand straight out of the sandblaster. And I'm noticing this is literally one coat. That bluing really likes the porous surface of the sandblasted metal. I'm tempted to throw this back in the sandblaster, sand the rest of these pits out, and I kind of like how this is duller too, because these military guns, they didn't come right from the factory with a super shiny blue job. If you just wanted to take one of these rifles and you didn't want to go and make it like perfect, like I'm trying to, I guess, but you just wanted to put some quick bluing back on, I could see where this stuff had actually worked pretty good. So I'm going to keep playing around with this Birchwood Casey stuff here and keep doing some different coats and see if I can experiment with getting a coating that I like. Still right now I'm kind of leaning towards maybe blasting it all off and doing the Cerakote. Okay, so after playing around for a while, I want to show you guys what I got here. I have, fresh out of the sandblaster, no bluing. This is no sanding, just out of the sandblaster, so that's the textured finish. This is out of the sandblaster, all sanded. There's still some pitting, so I still got more sanding to go, but this was mostly just a test piece. With a lot of coats of bluing. And then for comparison, I have the barrel underneath of the wood to where a lot of the bluing was still intact. I put a coat of oil on these two to protect them, because if you apparently leave that bluing any solvents in any of the cracks, there's little white pieces you can kind of see right in there in that little pocket. I got to scrub out. It is corrosive. And I think I had another little pocket that I got to clean out down in there. But if there's any residual left, yeah, in there too, I got to clean that pocket too. If there's any residual, it'll just keep corroding. Yeah, there's a little bit of white spot in there. I'm kind of digging the partially almost like a parkerized finish there, where it's just out of the sandblaster. That, it looks like it's a little bit too shiny for a military rifle. So what I'm gonna do, I just think I'm gonna keep going and just start bluing everything, and I'll post this video. That way you guys can see what progress is happening. It's just gonna be a lot of polishing and sanding, which it's gonna be kind of boring to put into a video, but at least we'll have some progress that I can show you, and I'll be able to start putting all these pieces together, and we'll be able to see how they look like. Already that looks like a lot better. Oof. That's some of the stuff that was left on that needs to come off. If you didn't want to go crazy on this and you just wanted to clean up the metal and throw some touch-up bluing on it, I mean, that looks pretty decent. I'm not unhappy with that at all. That already looks 1,000 times better. I'll have to bring out my other Enfield, and I got a Mauser that's got Cerakote on it to show you the different coatings that I'm thinking about trying. Alright, so we brought some toys out to see some comparisons. This is kind of what we're going for here, and I'm going to hold this up to both of them just to see where we want to go. So this is a number 4 Mark I Enfield, 1943 issue. We have this coat, which that actually looks really close to like the original finish that's on the rifle now, and that one. And we have this. I gotta get rid of this dog hair. That just, I don't know if the shine is gonna work on this rifle, but this is where I'm really torn. Here's a Mauser. This is a Cerakote. Look at that finish that's on there. I can make it as shiny or as dull as I want by just mixing hardener. And it'd be a lot easier to fill in imperfections. They're all pretty close. I don't know. I'm really torn on how I want to progress with this. Do I want to continue to blue it? Or do I want to just give up now and just Cerakote the thing? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Right now, I think I'm either going to do Cerakote or Sandblast and get rid of the shiny. I don't think that shiny's going to work. So, okay. We'll throw this video up, see what you guys think, and I'm just going to continue sanding. Thanks for watching.